I think the biggest trend that we're seeing is people are walking away from church attendance. So I'm going to tie that data point back to your question, which is that, and it may go back to, I want to do things the way I want to do it. So the problem with a fractionalized church is that people, you have a church, and then you have maybe a group of people in the church that don't like the direction of the church. We might say that's a good thing, especially if the church is doing something that's unbiblical. And then what do? They start a new denomination or they start a new version. I'm a Presbyterian. This is happening a lot in the Presbyterian church. And so I think the problem is that people are pulling away and starting their own thing. And so we see these kind of disparate groups among Christianity, and what unites them? I mean, can we answer that question in the 21st century maybe the same way we would answer it in 1900 at the onset of the 20th? I don't think so. So I'm a little worried about this. And if you look at church attendance among millennials, it's going down. People, and that doesn't mean that people, we don't want to judge, right? Maybe they're doing it their own way. Maybe they're reading scripture, but it is concerning. Because, I think a church is a place we get discipled by others. And we need to submit ourselves to that. And I think that takes some humility and some submission to what God's asking us to do. So I'm worried a little bit about the future. Now, the digital age gives us a lot of interesting ways to kind of consume church in ways that we couldn't 50 years ago. So that might be a good thing. If you're traveling, you can watch a church, sermon on TV, or you can listen to a podcast from your pastor. Those are good things. But I do worry about the breaking up of that routine of coming together on Sunday. So, I'm not sure what the answer to your question is, but I don't see convergence in terms of we're uniting around certain core principles. I actually see the opposite, which is when we don't like something in a church, we just start a new denomination. Instead of, what would the alternative have been 50, 70 years ago? We fix it in the church. The church doesn't disband. It's easier to do that now. And I think it becomes more confusing for Christians, especially people who are new Christians. Where do I go to church? How do I even know? To decipher what a Baptist church offers and a Presbyterian and a Lutheran. I got all in my neighborhood. How do I know what they mean? That's a harder thing to know, and it's very individual to the church. So I think that might be a concerning trend.